I have an exciting thing for you. But first of all, I have to put on my special hat.
Okay.
This is when I was a docent. This is when I was a docent at the Audubon Society in Ipswich, and that would be a wonderful place if you haven't already been there. It would be a wonderful place for you to go someday. You
Can-
learn all about all kinds of animals. But I was a specialist in the bluebirds, so I have this
Wow.
special hat.
What does docent mean?
Docent means somebody that learns a lot about one subject and then can teach people about it and can tell people about it.
That's awesome. I'm so glad we have you because I must tell you, I do not know much about bird nests. And I know that all the students in my room have been asking me all these questions.
Okay, well, I'll be glad to answer the questions that I can.
All right.
First of all, we usually think that bird nests are always in trees, right? That's what we think. Now, what is the best time of year to look for a bird nest if you're looking in trees? Look around here. Look at all these trees. Look at all these leaves. This is not a good time to look for bird nests because they usually build them on branches, and now everything's all covered up with the leaves. So if we take the summer away from fall and winter and spring, what are we left with? Right? We're left with the spring when there aren't any leaves on the trees, and we're left with the fall. So that is the best time to look for bird nests in the trees, when all of the leaves have fallen off, and then you can really see the little bird nests tucked into the branches. And today we'll talk about how, you know how everybody lives in kind of a different kind of a house or an apartment? So birds have the same ability. They make their nests, and all the nests are different. And once you know a certain amount of nests, then you can tell what kind of a bird built that nest. So let's go and just take a look. There's a couple ways that you can take care of birds, and one of them is to have a bird box. If you have a place in your backyard, or you have a friend who has a backyard, you could have a bird box, and that's a special place that birds are invited to come and build nests. So the first year I got this bird nest, and notice please how it's tucked up against the trees. That's because the birds like to hide for safety's sake, because who comes after a bird? A cat, right? And you know what else? The bird boxes have a long, you'll see when we go over there, it's built on a long pole, and that is to discourage the other predator of the nest, and that is something that crawls, and it doesn't have legs, and guess what? It's a snake. Snakes love to crawl into bird nests, and they eat the eggs. So it's good if you can put, if you're going to have a bird box, if you can put it on a long pole so that it would discourage a snake from crawling up there.
I was wondered why they were on poles. Interesting.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, snakes like birds and bird eggs too. Yep. Okay, so let's go take a look at what we have over here. And maybe if we're lucky, there might even be a nest in it. And just a little bit about nests before we go there. One is that sometimes people think, well, you shouldn't take a bird nest, you know. You shouldn't take it out of a tree or off of a branch because maybe the bird will come back. But you know what? The birds build the nest just for 1 year, just for one batch of eggs and chicks.
Really?
They never come back and use the same nest because when the mother bird and the father bird get together, part of what they do is they build a house for their babies.
Wow.
And each year they build a brand new house. So if you see a nest somewhere in your travels, you can take it. You don't have to worry that maybe a bird's going to come back next year looking for that. It'll be like you going back to your house or your apartment and finding somebody else in there, right? So let's go just take a little look here and see what's going on.
Oh, this is so exciting. Thank you so much for inviting us and let us come to your space of living and seeing what's happening.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, okay. So you'll see that this bird box, it came from the Audubon, like my hat, right? I bought this special. Well, look what happened. When I put this nesting box up, look what happened. The squirrels got very, very busy and they chewed it.
Oh my, yes, I see that.
See that? See how they nibbled all around there, right? And the bird box is open at the top so that air can circulate,
Oh, nice.
right? And so now we're going to open it up and see maybe.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Look at that. There's a nest in there.
it's incredible.
And
Oh,
what
it's
and
beautiful.
one thing I know is that one bird that uses mud, let's take it out very carefully
Ooh.
and we'll inspect it. Right? we are inspecting this nest. So first of all, what we see is this is mud.
Wow.
Now, I do know that there is at least one bird, and maybe more, that uses mud for their nest. And it's a bird that you see a lot. It has rockin' robin, deedly-dee, deedly-dee. Ooh, rockin' robin, when we're really gonna rock tonight.
Right.
Red-breasted robin.
Oh, we love that. That's a great
Red-breasted robin, and you can sing rockin'
tweet,
robin.
Tweet.
Yeah, tweedly-dee, dee. So the robin, the mother robin, and maybe the dad does too, because lots of times the dads, like a mom and dad could build a house together, you know? So oftentimes they build the nest together. It's a joint project. So
Love
they
that.
go to a place where there's been a little rain or like on a riverbank, and they scoop up mud in their bill, and then they fly it to where they're going to build the nest. And that's how you get the mud in the nest.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. See, it's all around the edge. It gives the nest integrity.
Ooh.
And that means it kind of holds it together,
Okay.
right? And they grab little pieces of grass, like you know when you go out in the yard and you look around and you see some dried grasses in with the regular
yes.
grass. So they pull those up, and then they take them and they tuck them inside the mud.
It's beautiful. Piece of art.
It is a piece of art.
Now, do you have any idea, like, how long that would take them to build? Like, is this a process that takes, weeks?
You know, I don't know, but that's a good thing that we can look up.
Yeah, it'd be
Right?
interesting.
How long does it take for different birds to build their nests? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out. I mean, that's intricate, and it's a lot of work, and it's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, and I love how they use the mud, too. I was wondering how they hold them together.
Yes,
And so the mud is a very crucial ingredient, isn't it?
it is. It is. It gives the nest integrity. Now, not all birds use mud. This happens to be a specialty of the robin. Some birds use moss. Some birds use twigs. I can show you some
really?
pictures. We'll put this back in here. Not that anybody's going to use it again, but we'll just keep it there for demonstration.
Yes, very important.
Right.
Oh, it's a beautiful birdhouse, too. I love the wood, and I really like how the squirrels went in there a little bit, though. It gives it a little vintage look. We like that.
And when the birds come and they use the nest, when they're using the nesting box, like they hide over here, and then you'll see them. They'll scoot right in very quickly with some food for the chicks, or if the chicks aren't hatched yet, they take turns sitting on the nest. It's kind of nice because the dads help out.
Oh, nice.
In certain birds, not all birds,
Right.
but certain birds, the guys help out.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
And that's a good thing. And that's a very good thing, too. So I have a couple of pictures here for you.
Okay.
And, like, you know about the hummingbird, right? Tiny, tiny, tiny little bird. Flies all the way from Alaska, all the way to
Really?
Florida. I mean, thousands and thousands of miles. Tiny little bird, no bigger than that. Well, Miss Angus told me that you already know how to measure 1 inch,
That's true, they do.
right? Your thumb.
Yep.
And guess what? That's how big the bird nest is. See how big this one was? And the hummingbird, a tiny little bird, Tiny, tiny little nest.
Oh my.
And here's a picture.
Let's see. Oh, look at this. Oh, that is really small, isn't it?
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, yes.
And they use nice soft things inside. They use some down, some fuzzy stuff from the plants, and they build, this is usually like moss and lichens that they pull up and then build their little nests around that. And they always put the nest in the fork of a tree. Like,
Okay, like a peace sign?
yes, like a peace sign. Oh, look who's come to visit. Look, Rockin' Robin is here.
Oh, look at that.
Cue the robin.
Oh, I think that was a little visit. That was a little visit. I like that. Perfect timing.
That is so fun. Okay, so you have little tiny nests like this, right? And then you can have an osprey nest that is this big.
Oh my goodness, what a
A
contrast.
giant, giant bird, an osprey bird. And they build nests, and the nest looks like it's a mess. It's just all sticks and sticks and sticks, and then they put the eggs in the middle of it. The other thing, Miss Angus was telling me once that she had chimney swifts. If you have a chimney on your house, that you could someday have a nest that looks like this.
I did, right inside. And I didn't know what it looked like, though. It goes against it, huh?
It's not round, right? They have to affix it to the. It's going to be.
Wow, you're right. It's like half a moon.
Yeah. Yep.
I never knew what it looked like, but boy, do they like to sing in my chimney.
And let's see what else is okay, so here are birds' nests. Birds lay the eggs right on the sand.
Oh my
Thank you very
goodness.
much, Mom.
Exactly. No nest for me.
No nest for me.
Oh wow. And geez, look at them. They're beautiful eggs. What kind of bird does that?
That is it's called a sandwich tern.
Ooh.
And we probably won't see them here because they see, it tells you the habitat, their breeding range from
Okay.
Virginia. And you know, on your map, you can find Virginia
Yes.
all the way down to Florida. That's where we can find them.
Oh.
But they are ocean birds. They live by the beach, and they lay their eggs. And there is one bird. Oh, I'll have to remember the name of it, and I'll tell Miss Angus, and she can tell you. There is one bird that lays its eggs on the water. It builds a nest on the water,
Wow.
and it's a bird that hardly ever comes to the shore.
Oh, this is fascinating. There's so many things to learn about birds and bird nests.
You can learn and learn and learn. Look, here's no nest at all. Just drop the eggs on the ground and hope for the best.
Oh wow! Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
There it goes.
And you know that the robin's eggs are
beautiful.
blue, right? You know that?
Yes, I do know the blue, and I have not seen any lately, though. I must tell you, I've been trying to keep my eyes out. But
And you haven't. And then it's an interesting thing too about how many eggs a bird will lay. Like here's a nest, right? It's got how many? Count those eggs. How many?
let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 eggs. Okay. And then, oh, there's the robin's eggs.
Ooh,
Isn't that a beautiful color
that's
blue?
beautiful blue. Oh yeah, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep. And look.
Oh, look at those 2 little sweet. Look at the sticks that come in. These are just 2 in that family.
Yeah.
Oh, and that I love the nest of that. Is really beautiful too.
Isn't that a beautiful nest? That's a cuckoo.
It is.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Oh, it's the nest is beautiful.
And look at this. It has all little fluff. See, it's nice and soft and cozy inside.
Oh, so they feel nice and safe.
Yes. But then they lay it on the ground on the leaves, so different birds have their different ways of building their nests. But you know what? They know what they're doing.
Right.
They know what they're doing. And look at these little. Now, do you know about loons? Loons are birds that mostly spend most of their life in lakes, and they call at night. They're beautiful. You could learn more. Miss Angus can get a recording of the loon.
Ooh, I would love to do that.
They have 3 different voices. One of them is a laugh. They sound crazy. They go, ah! like that, right? And then they have a hoot, hoot, hoot. And then they have one other call that I don't remember, but they have 3 different calls, and they mostly spend their time in the water.
Interesting. I know about them. I've seen one a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I didn't know all the different calls. Oh, this is where they are located. Let's see. Oh, wow.
And they're
I
beautiful.
love looking at maps too. They teach us stuff too. All the
Right.
different
Yes.
places in the
Oh,
world.
yes. Yep. And they lay their eggs. They lay their eggs very close. Like, say, for example, this is the water, right? Then they're going to put their nest right up here,
Really?
so that as soon as these babies are hatched, they can take them right to the water.
Isn't that incredible?
They don't have a long walk
No, they don't.
because they have web feet, and so
And those web feet help them.
that's right. They swim very nicely with that, but it's hard to walk on little webby feet.
There's so many fascinating things that I had no idea that are really around us when it comes to birds' nests and their homes, their
Right.
shelter, their habitat.
Right.
It's amazing that what we have around us in our environment.
In our environment.
A very big word, and it's important for us to know that it surrounds us, our environment, and it changes all the time.
And here's just one picture, one final picture
Oh,
for your
yes.
lesson on nests. Different kinds of nests.
Oh my goodness, the egg markings are beautiful.
Aren't they?
And the shapes, I had no idea about all the different types of shapes. Look at that. It's like
That's right.
oval to circular to, they're just gorgeous.
You know what shape is missing? Square.